What's going on, guys? Today I got some bad news. Unfortunately, I somehow managed to burn out the Flipsky controller. It was running great. You guys seen the videos. It was riding great. Ran for a couple sessions, and after the trail session, I took it home. I sprayed it down with the pressure washer. I thought I was pretty careful on it. I let it sit for a day, hoping if there was any moisture, it would have dried out. And I'm not 100% sure this was the issue. Like I said, I didn't change anything with the tune. All I did was switch to the 420 setup, took it for a rip down the street, and it went pop. Fortunately, I got it back in the garage as quick as possible. It was smoking. Pulled it apart faster than a NASCAR pit crew. Would have gave them a run for their money. Managed to save everything. Battery's fine. Motor seems like it's spinning free. But the controller, when I go to hook it up, it basically sends an arc and it immediately starts to fry the wires. So something's definitely shorted out in there. I don't know if I was running it way too spicy, or like I said, somehow I managed to get water in there. I did pull the Flipsky apart, and I did see some moisture in there, so I'm thinking that's what it is. Honestly, guys, I'm going to have to point my fingers at you. It's your guys' fault. A lot of you have been asking for a wiring video, and I really didn't want to do it because of the way I wired it, and I'll show you that real quick. So I wired, you've probably seen the short if you've been following, but wired up a contactor to the key switch, and then I added a resistor to a switch as well. That way when the key was off, I could open up the resistor. It would send voltage into the controller. I had my ADC2 set up to where that if the key was off, so I have a 4-wire key, this would have been connected right here. So in the off position, ADC2 was set up as a kill switch. That way, even if this was on, nobody could jump on the bike and run 100 amps through, these skinny little wires. And then once you turn the key on, it was good to go. ADC2 shut off the kill switch, and then I would just pop this off. That way current wasn't running through that. But yeah, so the 75-200 is unfortunately blown. But let's look at the bright side. You guys are getting exactly what you want. So we have the new Flipsky 7500 Pro V2. So this, I will be able to get rid of all this crap. It comes with a button and a key switch. I thought it came with either or, but mine came with the button and the key switch. So I'll leave a link for that down in the description if you guys want to purchase one of those. It is a Amazon affiliate link, so if you do get one through my link, it does help the channel out here a little bit. But yeah, guys, totally just kidding. Obviously, I did something to pop this thing. I'm going to be more careful with this. Design like a little cap cover, maybe hot glue, all these openings right here. So make it a little bit more waterproof if that was the issue. But today, I want to show you guys how to wire this up. I'm going to show you how I put on my ring terminals. Of course, I'll always leave a link to all the stuff that I use as far as connectors, crimps, ring terminals, all that good stuff. So if you guys want to follow this, go ahead, hit the description, buy it all up, and we'll get you wired up. So this will be the start of the Flipsky series. We'll go ahead, get this wired up. This should be a pretty short video. I mean, there's really a couple things to wire up. Throttle, we got Hall, and that's basically it. So let's go ahead and do a little unboxing. So of course we have the 75-200 Pro V2, and then already hooked up to it we have our little latching switch. So this actually stays latched and then turns the controller on and off. You can see the difference right here. We got battery positive, ignite, and ground versus the V1 where you got your can right there. One thing I did notice is this has two 3.3 volts. 75-200 V2 only has 5 volt here, and then there's a 5 volt down here on the big plug. So only one 3.3. So I'm not too sure how to use ADC2 as a possible kill switch, something for a little bit added precaution. But getting into the box, this is the bag that it will come in. Right in here you have your USB to hook up to a laptop, computer, whatever you may have. Get in this. Not sure what this is. It's possible extension or something for the hauls. And then we got this right in here. So this is a, sorry it's hard to see, it's a voltmeter key switch combo, pre-wired as well. So if you want to use this instead, all you got to do is unplug that, plug this in, and you're good to go. I'm going to be getting rid of this button here, and I'm not going to be using this key switch voltmeter combo. What I'm going to be doing is using the stock key switch. I took it out because I'm going to be using it to do the wiring video right now, and then we're going to wire it in. We got the BombMoto tech over here. Just kidding, but we got the voltmeter right here. So basically I'm going to be wiring the voltmeter and the stock key switch into the V2. So if you guys want to follow along for your B1 build, this will work perfectly. This will work for, you know, if you got a razor, anything that you want to stick this thing on, it'll work. Or you, like I said, you could just use the button. You could use the key switch voltmeter combo, make it easy on yourself. So right now we are going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to hook up a throttle. I will be using a Sur-On throttle, so I'll give you the color code, the color matching for that, and then we're going to be hooking up our hall sensor. And that's basically it, guys. I will be showing you what I will be using for the phase wires and the battery leads. I'm just going to use ring terminals like I did on this guy right here. Now you can use some like XT150 bullet connectors. I think they're like, you can get 8mm bullet connectors, stuff like that, which would probably be a lot more handy and a lot easier than bolting these and then heat shrinking these. But that's the way I'm gonna go. That's what I have here in the garage. So let me go ahead and grab my supplies. We'll start wiring this thing up. Let's go ahead and go over some of the supplies. Of course, we got my favorite box of connectors with a crimper. I got my wire cutters right over here, my strippers. Then I have this lug crimper, and then it comes with a bunch of ring terminals. Comes with a whole pack of heat shrink as well. I believe this was like 30 bucks. Again, check the description if you guys want to grab one for yourself. But somewhere around 30 bucks, works pretty great. We got the controller, and then we got our key, and we have our voltmeter. The throttle is on the bike right now. I'm not going to take that off. I'll probably take that off here in a second. I lied. But let's go straight to the controller, and we're going to get rid of everything unnecessary. So as you can see here, I got only 3 of the connector harnesses. So what we want to do is get rid of our CAN, get rid of the USB, unless of course you are hooking this up to a laptop. Then we have our main connector, and you can see here we have our 5.5, 3.3, ground, ADC1, all that good stuff right there. So we're gonna need 3 of these wires for our throttle. Then we'll go over to our servo. We don't need that, so go ahead and pull that sucker out. Next up on our left here we have our hall connector. Obviously we're going to need this bad dog. And then right over here, of course, we have our ignition switch. So these 3 are the ones you're going to worry about. This is going to get you going. So the first thing we're going to do is come to our big connector right here. See if I can get a little bit of sunlight on it and focus. There we go. So as you can see, we have our 3.3 volt is one of the reds. Right next to that we have our ground, and we have our ADC. So they're all grouped up right next to each other. Makes it nice and easy. So we got red, black, and white. Now it's very, very important that you make sure you grab that 3.3 volt. If you put that 5 volt into ADC1, you will blow it up. So make sure when you're sorting through your wires, you're going to get that second red one just like so. And then we'll have our white and our black. Just like that. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is snip off the end of these. That way I have my exposed wires. Go ahead and strip them. And then I'm going to grab one of my 3-pin connectors, and I'll show you how I crimp the pins on these tiny little wires. Copper's probably got about 10 strands each, so I'll show you how I secured these on my last one, and it was pretty easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these off real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I got my wires cut and stripped. Now, as you can see, I have quite a bit of bare wire here, so I'll show you the reason why. Now, if you were to try to crimp that pin on with just that, it wouldn't really hold very well. They'd probably pull out pretty easy. So what I like to do is give this a twist, and then I will fold it over about 3, 4, maybe even 5 times, however many times you can get. Leave yourself about a 1/4 inch of bundle right there. That way, when you go to pin it on, it's hard to see, but it's got plenty of bite on it, and of course when you pinch that first one right there, it's going to make it nice and sealed as well, because these are very, very thin wires, and we want to try to get them as water resistant as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up pinning the rest of these, but we're going to have red as our 3.3 volt, so this will match on a regular throttle, red to red. On a Sur-On throttle, it'll be red to brown. Then of course we have black to black on a regular throttle, and on a Sur-On throttle, black is usually pretty common. And then we have our white, which is going to be our ADC1 or our signal wire. So this is going to go to blue if it's on a Sur-On throttle, or green on a regular throttle. And then I'll show you a little close-up once it's all connected on the Sur-On throttle. And our throttle is wired up. So again, we have our white to blue, red to brown, black to black, or if you're using a regular throttle, it'll be white to green, red to red, black to black. Cool deal. Now we're gonna move on to our hall wire. Now, this one, pretty self-explanatory. It's basically going to match up. Now the colors are a little bit off, as you'll see, but you'll have red to red, white to white if you have a temp sensor. Fortunately, on the 2024 BombMotos, we do have a temp sensor, the KTY83. Then for the next one, we're going to have blue to blue. Now this one is where it is really off. We have orange. Orange is going to go to yellow, green to green, and black to black. Super easy on this one. Fortunately, I already have this one set up on the other one, and it plugs directly in. So I'm going to be using one of these plugs that I salvaged. I think it's called like a Furukawa 6.2, something like that. I will leave a link down in the description if you want to grab one of these. They are a little bit more expensive for, you know, a set of plugs, something like that. Or you can just go with the handy 6-pin right there and chop this off of your B1 or whatever else you got and just match it up. Super easy. Now we are going to go to our ignition side. So basically what we're going to want to do is we're going to use the ground for the voltmeter. We're going to run the battery positive, which is green. We're going to run that into the key switch, and then from the key switch back down on the other side, we're going to split this right off so it goes back into the controller, and then it's going to split off to our positive on our voltmeter here. So I'll show you guys that here in a second. Let me go ahead and whip up a plug, and then we'll get it all plugged in, and then we'll work on getting our ring terminals on, and from there we can plug it into the controller, make sure it turns on, make sure our voltmeter kicks on, and from there we'll go ahead and end the video. But stay tuned, we will be doing a simple setup on this. We'll do an extra video on that as well. I do want to still figure out how to tune this bad dog and get a good tune out for you guys, so keep a lookout for that as well. I will have all this stuff up on my Patreon as early access, so if you guys want to sign up and help support the channel, get access to these videos early, of course that is going to be down in the description as well. Key switch wire is ready, so I got it plugged into our key switch right here. So it's going to run from battery positive, which is green, It's going to run to one side of my key switch. It's going to go up into the key switch, back down to the opposite side, and then it's going to run to red, which is going to run to ignite. And then off of that same side red, I have another red spliced in, which is going to run back down, loop back up, and then it's going to run into one side of the positive side of my voltmeter. And then you'll notice I actually have a white wire in here as well. So I'm actually going to be running this DC to DC reducer. It is a 5-wire reducer. So basically you get power from your positive and negative off your battery positive, and then you have this here signal wire. So this actually doesn't pull any load. It's basically just a signal. As soon as it sees 72 volts, it will turn on a relay allowing power to flow through and giving you 12 volts. So I got the voltmeter hooked up, and right now I'm going to go ahead and crimp on my ring terminals. I've been using the 8-gauge 1/4 inch, and they fit perfectly around here. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp those on right here. Bolt these from the reducer onto here as well as my QS8 connector right here. So basically I'm just going to bolt all these together. Once it's finalized, of course, I'm going to shrink wrap them. That way you can't touch them and short out your battery. Of course, that's very important. So let me go ahead, explain this one more time. So from our battery positive, which is green, we're going to go up into one side of our key switch connector, and then coming back down, our red going to ignite. We want to split that off, so one goes into the controller, one loops around into your voltmeter. Voltmeter is going to go red to red as your positive, and then on your black for your voltmeter, it's going to run down to the black ground. And that's basically all your key switch voltmeter combo that comes with it does. We're just separating it like so. And then of course in my situation, I am taking that red wire and daisy chaining it one more time, so that way once I flip my key on, power goes up from battery positive, up the key, flip the key on, comes back down, goes into the controller, goes into the voltmeter, and then goes into the 12-volt reducer. Our moment of truth. So I went ahead and crimped on my ring terminals, attached it to my battery lead. Now you can just solder a XT90 QS8 directly to these if you want. I wanted to do the ring terminals mainly so I can hook up my leads for my reducer right here. So as you can see, I'm being very mindful that these do not touch. Once this is solid, of course, this will be heat shrink and separated. That way there is no chance of them touching regardless. But right now we want to make sure my wiring scheme worked. So key switch is off, battery is plugged in, and then we have our multimeter attached to where our 12-volt power comes out. So once I switch this key on, we should see voltmeter on and 12-volt power. So here we go. It's like voltmeter is on, 12.9, and our controller is on. So we know we are good to go. I'm good to hook up 12-volt accessories like I had previously, and everything is looking great. So right now I need to get everything kind of buttoned up, make this more permanent, and then put my ring terminals on my phase wires, of course, get it all mounted up. Of course, I have my 3D printed Flipsky bracket for the B1. If you guys want to grab yourself one, just let me know. This is my first model. The new models come with fan mounts for you to attach 50mm fans on the bottom. That way, if you are running a 12-volt system, you can also hook up a fan, keep your Flipsky nice and cool. But yeah, guys, hopefully this helped you out. Again, very, very simple. You got your key switch, you got your voltmeter, and you don't even have to hook that stuff up if you want to use the one included in there. And then we got our throttle, our Hall, and we're good to go. That is going to do it for this video. Stoked it all worked out. Happy to have the V2 finally and help you guys out. Let me know if it does. Leave me a comment down below. For any of you that aren't comfortable wiring this kind of stuff in, there are companies out there that make plug and play kits. For instance, you have eForce, Charged Up. So I'll leave a link down below for them as well. And then of course, for every material, all the tools that I used today as well. They are Amazon affiliate links, like I said. So if you do grab them, they do help out the channel a little bit, and I appreciate that. But yeah, next video we'll go through the motor setup, the throttle setup, kind of go through the app and show you guys what to look for, what you don't need to look for. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Show you how to get it through the mobile app, or if you want to go through the laptop version, stuff like that. But yeah, stoked that I can do this with you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.